Sorry about that. Okay.
Small room.
About that. I'm not real comfortable, so. I just need a little bit of, I don't want to get you wet. A little bit of information about you. How do you spell your first name?
Melissa.
Do you have a middle initial or middle name? M?
Margaret.
And spell your last name?
Calusinski.
Okay, your date of birth?
10/04/86.
Okay, your height and weight?
I weigh 110.
Okay.
And my height is 5'4".
Color eyes?
Brown. It's like a brown hazel. They were brown though when I was
We'll go brown, how about
okay.
that? And hair?
Well, it's black right now,
We'll
but
do black, that's
okay.
good, okay. All right, do you have a social security number?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
319.
Yep.
78.
Uh-huh.
54.
Uh-huh.
17.
Do you know your driver's license number offhand? No, that's okay, all right. What's your address?
528.
528?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Apache, APACHE Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
Carpentersville,
Zip?
60110.
Okay. Home phone?
847 426
426?
9097.
Uh-huh. Okay. Cell?
224
Mm-hmm.
622
Okay.
2826.
2826? And work?
847
Mm-hmm.
634 1982.
1982?
Yeah.
Okay, and place of employment obviously is Minnesota?
Minnesota.
How do you spell that?
MINEEE.
Yeah.
SUBEE.
And it's in Lincolnshire. And you've been working there approximately?
Well, I've been working for them
For
for
14 months. But at this facility for?
I transferred I've been there since November, like 2.5, 3 months now.
In Lincolnshire, and prior to that you were in Arlington Heights?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your job title is?
A teacher assistant.
Teacher assistant, okay. Okay, and did you said you'd worked in other similar situations or employment?
At the time I was doing nannying and babysitting jobs, but before I got this job, I was doing like I was working like different things for retail, and my parents own a business too. So.
Oh yeah, what do they own?
Bait and tackle for fishing.
Oh really?
Algonquin.
In Algonquin? Is that good business?
Yeah.
Really?
We do.
Is it like on the Fox River or something?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
If you know where off of 62.
Okay.
The bridge by Port Edward.
Yeah, I know where the bridge is, yeah.
We're inside Erickson Marina.
Oh. How long have they been doing that?
Going on 6 years. My dad's friends with the owner.
Is that something your dad's been doing all his life type of thing, or something
He's
after
been
retirement?
wanting to do it, yeah. He's actually on disability because
Okay.
he has plates and screws in his back.
Work-related injury or something? Yeah, okay. Oh, it's good he's finally doing something he likes to do, right?
Yeah.
Now, your sister also works at Minnesota?
Yeah, she's the one that got me the job.
Okay, okay. Do you, and I'm not really familiar with daycare centers or this, do you have to have some kind of a certification or a degree or?
You have to have a high school diploma.
Okay.
And a few references, but if you have a teacher certified, they would need all your transcripts and all that.
Okay.
If you were.
Are you certified?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm planning on going back to school soon. I just recently been paying off school allowance too.
Okay, all right. And you said you worked prior to this as a nanny for how long?
I think almost 4 years to the same family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where was that?
In Algonquin.
In Algonquin,
Yeah.
okay. And why'd you leave? You left there to come to Minnesota?
I wanted this as my career, actually, to
Okay.
be in a school with kids and get a better feel.
Did you live in a live-in nanny? I'm not sure how that all works.
Not really. We were actually friends, and after when my sister Crystal was working for Minnie Suvi, I took over her job. So we were really close with the family. We're like almost like daughters to her.
Okay, to the kids you were taking?
Yeah.
Right, okay. All right.
So,
Good experience
yes.
doing that? Yeah. Okay. Before we continue to talk, we've got some questions to ask you
Okay.
regarding the incident. Obviously, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
About is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. Prior to that, anytime we interview anybody, we're obligated to have to read you what's called your Miranda rights, the right to remain silent in that. It's routine and protocol for us anytime we talk to anybody. So if you wouldn't mind, Sean's gonna read you these.
Okay.
The standard procedure was, basically you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court or other proceedings. You have the right to talk with a lawyer for advice before you ask you any questions and have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you free of any cost to you before questioning if you wish. Do you understand all those?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If you could just sign your name that we read these to you. Right there, please.
Fixed.
Excuse me. George.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Get that out of the way. So,
Yeah, like a while back, I went through this not this kind of stuff, but similar, because my case got dropped.
what department was that with? Sorry about that. Let me grab my folder here.
54110. Small.
This room, yeah. Sorry about that, Melissa, what were you saying, what about crisis?
Oh, I went through like a case a while back when I was 19, 20,
Mhm.
and I was like put through like counseling in
Sure.
Belgium for that something happened on King County property a while back, but then my case got dropped. People versus people,
Uh-huh.
so and the
What-
guy walked away.
Okay.
So
Did you get arrested for that?
no.
What was the,
I wouldn't know how to say, it's been a while, but it was like with like harm, rape, and all that other stuff, and like my case got dropped and all that because they didn't find enough like evidence or whatever. So
they accused you of raping someone?
no, the guy, and it was on a forest preserve property and everything.
A guy raped you?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to hear that. Besides for that instance where you were a victim?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any other run-ins with the police?
No.
Okay,
Never.
good.
Pretty much the town of Carpentersville knows who I am.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Is that where you grew up too?
Yeah, and they know my dad, so.
Okay.
Because he's friends with the village.
A lot of
president.
policemen like to fish and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's, why don't we go back to, was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
When this all happened? In general, what I like to, now you've had a couple of days to kind of relax and, kind of think. Things maybe are a little clearer on what happened that day. We find out sometimes that after a day or two of people just getting themselves there, that's a pretty traumatic experience. They tend to start remembering a little more fact, a little more detail of what occurred. And the way I usually like to do this is I like to start out from the beginning of that day. Let's see, you got up.
Yeah.
You got yourself, ready for work?
Ready for work.
About what time was that?
I left at like 6:50
So this is Wednesday morning, about
Yes.
6:50, and you drive yourself into work?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, just go
And,
through your day.
well, I didn't get there till like 8:20.
Mhm.
That's when I clocked in.
And who was there when you got there?
Wendy, she's the head teacher.
Okay.
And a few other staff, along with my sister, Crystal.
Who were the other staff?
I believe it was, her name was, the other one, I think it was Wendy with a W.
Okay.
And then, Kristen. These were other staff that were with that, cause our kids before in the morning, we keep them all in one room. They were
Okay.
in the baby room, and then when we had like 13, we split them in half and then bring my, kids with Wendy into our room.
Okay.
So, and when I got there, that's when we split them in half.
Is that like a required number? You can
Yeah.
only have so many kids in a room?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the maximum amount of kids?
For right now, for the toddlers, the infants, infant toddlers, it would be like a ratio of 4 for one teacher.
Okay, 4, but you could have 8 to 12 if you have, let's say, 3 teachers in one room?
Yeah, up
Okay.
to 12, you can have 3 teachers.
Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead. So you got there, these were the people there, you got there
Yeah.
about 8:20.
And then I helped get my kids into the room with Wendy, Wendy,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was perfect.
How many kids?
There was 8 in my room
8 kids,
today.
so it was you and Gwendy,
Yeah.
all right, and 8 children,
Mhm.
including, what's the child's name?
Ben.
Ben? Okay, all right, go ahead.
And when
What
we
time,
brought them in,
I'm sorry, what time did you guys, do you think you got in there with the kids, with your group?
about like 8:30.
8:30?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
And she was finishing up, and then I started writing down what they had for breakfast.
Gwendy was finishing up?
Yeah, she was finishing up, trying to get the rest of the kids and get everything together, bring in diapers and everything that we had in the other classroom, that kids that weren't changed, so
Okay.
that we would change them in our room.
So Gwendy would leave, come back with diaper, or came back with diapers, so she
Yeah,
was
and I
gone.
had help with my sister also. We
So
had
you're-
help with other teachers bringing the kids in.
Okay, but you were with the kids the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I would write on their clipboard, cause they have a daily sheet that, for what they had for lunch, breakfast, and snack and all that. And I was just writing that down, and, what they had for breakfast, and then the
so
things
when you
that
get
were
in there,
changed.
when you get in there at 8:30, do they have breakfast immediately?
They have breakfast before I even get there.
Oh, okay, okay, and then you record what they had for
Yeah,
breakfast?
we
You
write it
group-
on a piece of paper.
Gotcha, okay, is that another requirement?
For what.
Or do you guys just kinda keep tabs, or?
We keep, yeah, instead of taking off their daily sheets, it's so much easier just to write it on a sheet of paper of what they ate and what time they were changed, instead of writing down all on the
Okay,
sheets, so.
okay.
And, I did that, and then when we write down their times too, and then after I was done with that, I finished, doing the diapers for whichever kid got in late, child. I would do the diapers, write that down, then, wash, do the routine. We had to wash their hands right after diaper.
And you do this all in the same room?
Mhm.
Okay.
And there would be another teacher, Gwendy was there when I was changing,
Mm-hmm.
so we would, one would change and then one would keep an eye on the kids, of course. So after that, we were playing with the kids,
What time was that now?
around like 8:40.
Okay.
they started.
Any of the kids,
We didn't notice anything at all. Everyone was happy playing.
okay,
There was no sign of change.
nobody was crying, nobody, just not talking
Yeah.
Ben, but anybody?
Nobody.
No issues, okay, nobody getting out of hand, or,
Mm-mm.
okay. And is this usually the same group of kids?
Yeah.
All the time?
Mhm.
So you always have the same
Yeah.
4 to 8?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And everything was going fine, and then once around like 9:00, 9:15, we start doing early breaks for the
Mhm.
ones that came in early. Cause Gwendy, she comes in the mornings at like 6:30, 6:45 to open,
Mm-hmm.
and then she goes on break at like 9:15, and then I have, there's another teacher that comes in there with me that helps me out and everything while she's on break. So
Who-
another certified teacher would come in.
So, did Gwendy take her break that morning?
Yeah,
Does she do it at the same time every time?
yeah.
What time was that?
Her breaks are at 9.
So she took a break at 9?
Yeah.
Okay, and who came in at 9 o'clock?
It was either a teacher, her name was Nancy, she's here Monday through Wednesday.
So Nancy was there Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nancy came in for the break?
Yeah.
And how long was Nancy in there?
An hour.
Okay, and she would, well, it's a long break.
Yeah, we take an hour breaks, cause she leaves, we work an actual 10-hour
Okay.
shift.
And you were there the whole time with
Mhm.
Nancy too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So then, you get the hour break, and so now we're at 9 o'clock. Or I'm sorry, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, Gwendy comes back,
Okay,
and then Nancy, she goes into another room to break in the
Okay.
infant room.
gotcha,
And it was like back and forth.
okay. So now, all right, 10 o'clock, what happens after 10 o'clock?
What me and Gwendy try doing now, we try doing like group time, read the kids some books and discuss and go along with our lesson plan.
Okay. Do you have a written lesson
Yeah.
plan? Do you submit that to, is it something that you just hold on to, or is it something you submit?
Oh, we just, put it on our board. On the
Oh,
wall.
okay, I see, so you just write it like up on a dry erase board?
No, we write them out in a sheet of paper, they give
Okay.
us like papers. We
Okay.
have to do 2 separate ones, cause we still have 2 infants.
Okay. Okay, so now you got a lesson plan, and you guys start reading to the
We
kids?
start reading.
And there's still nothing unusual, nothing,
And
okay.
they sit and listen, and then usually we try and read to them for like 5 minutes. 'Cause they're still really young, so
Right,
they're really.
attention span's not
Yeah.
bad, right.
So we just let them play, and then we have music playing too, so
Mhm.
they danced and playing. And then me or Gwendy, we do bubbles every so often too, 'cause they like the bubbles, so.
Sure, okay. So, nothing happened while Gwendy was gone. Now
No.
10 o'clock, she comes back, you guys do your lesson plans, and then what?
We play with the kids.
Okay.
We do check the charts for diapers and see who needs diapers,
Okay,
because we change diapers every 2 hours.
okay. Do you recall anything at that point, Ben acting unusual or anything like that?
He was
Okay.
happy, he was.
When you say
walking-
happy, how old is he, 16?
16 months.
Okay, when you say he's happy, what do you mean?
He was just had a big smile on his face, he would play a lot, he would play with his sister, and he would just like crawl, and he was just getting used to like walking, so he wasn't walking that well yet.
Okay, but he
But-
could walk, what, would he just like walk and then go down on all fours, or have to hold on to something?
Usually what we've been trying to do, cause he has a twin sister in there
Mhm.
too, we, like usually they'd be like uppies, like wanting us to pick him up.
Okay,
but
yeah, yeah.
What we've been doing, we've just been like, come on, you know, and then we help them up, or they pull on our pant leg, and then we hold on to their hands, and
Okay,
we walk around the room with them.
so does he communicate?
Yeah,
So he can say words? and-
yeah,
Okay.
he would say, ball a lot, and starting to say not nice.
Okay.
So.
Oh, good, good. All right, so, go ahead, now you've got the playtime, and you and Gwendy are still in there.
Yeah, and we were playing with them till about like 11, cause 11:15 we feed them lunch.
Okay. And do they all eat in the same room?
Yeah,
Okay,
and they all eat the same thing.
okay. And who feed, I mean,
We.
I haven't been a dad with a young kid like that for a long time, so I'm trying to remember,
Yeah.
I'm picturing my son eating spaghetti, grabbing it, and.
Yeah,
I
we've
mean-
been trying to actually, what we do, just recently we've been trying to have them try and use spoons,
Okay,
but some of them aren't quite getting it, so we only have them use spoons during lunch.
do they sit in high chairs, or?
They sit in regular chairs,
Regular
they
chairs?
buckle in.
Oh.
We actually had
The low.
little, yeah,
chairs,
wooden
okay.
ones. One
Okay.
would like buckle,
Mhm,
like right here, and then in between the legs you put it through, or just a regular buckle.
sure.
Does it have a tray on it?
No,
Table?
the table is just like, it's like a U. It just
Mhm.
has like a little area where you can push them in,
You
and
go,
they have their own
okay.
space.
Okay.
Okay, so now they eat, no problems there?
No problems. They
Okay.
eat their food really
And what time
well.
were they done eating?
I would say 11:30.
Okay.
11:40.
So 11:30 you're done eating, and then what?
We have them play a little bit more, so about like 12.
Okay.
12:15 is the latest we have them play. It depends on how fussy they get.
Okay.
Because we try and keep them up till 12:30 before nap.
Okay.
That makes them take a longer nap usually.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got their cots out,
Mhm.
they were all fine. Sometimes they get fussy, and they were a little bit fussy because they were tired, and they
What
go
time
with
is
the
this,
same-
about 12:15 you said?
12:15,
Okay.
they were getting fussy.
They don't sleep, do they sleep in cribs or cots?
Cots. We only have 2 that sleeps in the cribs because they're not 16 months yet.
Okay. And they all sleep in individual cots?
Yeah. They have their own cot covers and their own cots.
And these are, I'm trying to picture these are like fold-out cots or something, or?
No, they're just like mats or whatever, like
Okay.
things with a little bit of legs on them, and then what we do, we have the parents that buy the cot covers, and we put the cot covers on them so that they have the pillow and the padding, so it doesn't hurt their backs or their heads.
Okay, so everybody got tucked in, let's say, at
Yeah.
12:15 or so?
Yeah.
Okay, then what?
How high are the cots on the ground?
Like that high.
Say a couple of inches?
Yeah.
1 or 2
They're not
inches?
even
Okay.
that high.
Mhm.
And did you put the kids in the cot?
It depends because usually once their cots and their cot covers are out, they crawl, they know
They go
which
to
ones
their
are
own-
theirs,
oh.
yeah.
So it was you and Gwendy putting them into the cots?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so now they're all bedded down, 8 of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what?
Once they were starting to fall asleep, we made sure first that they were falling asleep and that they were sleeping. And then, once they were all falling asleep, we picked up the room. We did it nice and quietly. We had music going, of course. After that, we just like put the little toys in a little bin or a little area for us to sanitize, because we do, clean our room. We sanitize and clean all the toys every nap time.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And do you clean the toys in the room, or do you take them?
Yeah, no, we clean them in the room.
Okay. And did you guys
The big
clean them
toys.
Wednesday, or?
Yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah.
What, do you just wipe them down with hand wipes and stuff?
We wipe, yeah, in like bleach water that we
Okay.
use for the table and diapers.
Okay, so this is you and Gwendy
Mhm.
cleaning, okay. Go ahead.
And then after that, we were, trying to finish up on what we needed to do, because actually on Wednesday, we were supposed to be ready today for, the reps for relicensing
Mm-hmm.
for the registered teachers, the certified. So, you were cleaning and doing all that and going through everything.
Okay, so you're prepping for an inspection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the kids were asleep still?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you guys stay in the room, obviously?
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're saying nobody, you didn't leave that entire time?
No.
Okay.
And then Nancy came back in to break me on my lunch. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was my usual break, but she came at 1 o'clock today, or that day.
So Nancy came in at 1 to relieve you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you went to lunch, and it was Nancy and?
And Gwendy, but I actually punched out, and then I went back into my room. And usually we're allowed to do that, sometimes because of the weather, we have a small lounge, so it's not big enough for everyone to eat. So there was 3 of us in the room, and I was kind of also a little bit helping them out.
How long were you out of the room?
Not even 5 minutes. I just went to punch out and then
Did you
came
have
back
like
in.
lunch that you brought or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then sometimes what the directors want us to do, and my boss, is sometimes, with lunch, we would actually sometimes eat with the children, because they get more comfortable with
Okay.
that, so.
So,
So
1 o'clock.
You already ate your lunch when the kids ate?
No,
Oh,
but
on your break,
like
is it?
sometimes we usually do that, but then when we're on our break, most of us clock out, and then either they start up their car, they go out to like the store or something, and then after that they come back in, and we're very quiet when we come back in.
Okay.
To the room,
So when you actually do physically punch a clock?
Yeah,
Okay.
fingerprints.
Oh, it's a fingerprint scan?
Yeah.
Where's that located? Is that
It's
somewhere?
at the front desk.
So you walked over to the front desk?
Yeah.
Scanned your finger?
to punch out,
To
and
pun-
then I went back in my room.
Okay. And that took 5 minutes?
Not even.
Not
5
even?
minutes.
Do
Okay.
you smoke?
Huh?
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
I just wondering, like a lot of
Yeah,
times people
no.
leave on a break to go.
They smoke, yeah, no.
No. Do girls you work with smoke? Do they?
I think some do, but none of the teachers that I
Oh,
work with.
they go outside?
Yeah,
Okay.
or they either go to like if they drive to go get food or something
Okay.
like that.
So you came back in and the kids were still asleep?
Mhm.
Okay. And this is all around 1:30?
Yeah.
Did Nancy leave or did she stay?
She was still in there.
She's still there?
Yeah, she was helping out, and I was on my break.
So it was you, Nancy, and
And
Wendy?
Wendy.
Okay. Then what?
We were just keeping an eye on the kids, pretty much, and as they were, as they were they were finishing stuff up, I was keeping an eye out on the kids, and
As who was finishing stuff up? Wendy and?
Nancy.
What were they doing?
They were finishing cleaning up.
Cleaning
and-
up, okay,
yeah.
okay. And then the kids started waking up at some point, or?
They didn't wake up till like after 2:30.
Okay, what, did you have to punch back in?
Yeah, after my hour
Okay, so you left the room again?
to punch in. I
What
didn't
time
punch
was that
in.
at?
It was like after, like 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. And you gone a couple of minutes again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I came back in, and once I came back in, because Nancy didn't leave until I was actually officially in the room.
Okay, so you come back in and then Nancy leaves?
Yes.
Okay. And then this is 2 o'clock, and now the kids are awake or they're still asleep?
They're still sleeping.
Okay. And what are you guys, just watching them?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
make sure they don't roll off their cots,
Okay.
and
And then what time did they start waking up?
after 2:30. I don't specifically.
So 2:30, the kids start, around 2:30, you start
Yeah.
waking up, and then what?
Once they start waking up, we write down the times of when they woke up, and then generally, like, it's usually usually one of the 2 that are still in cribs, they're usually the first ones. Pick them up, we take them out of the cribs or off the cots. And then-
Ben's not in the crib though, right?
No, he was on a cot.
Okay, and his twin sister?
She was
cot?
on a cot.
Okay.
They were almost like right next to each other.
Okay,
So, but we would start changing their diapers as soon as they started waking up.
okay, and that's what happened Wednesday,
Mhm.
around 2:30, okay.
Did all the kids sleep?
Yes.
None of them like stayed up or cried, or you don't remember anything like that?
Usually they sometimes wake up, but some of them have binkies, so, and then they drop it from their mouth, and what we'll do,
Just give
we'll
it
go
back
over
to 'em.
there and gently, like, help them find it, and then they go back to sleep.
Okay, all right, so now they're up, now what?
We just turn on the lights if they're all up, and as long as the cots are all put away, we put everything away and put everything up, finish changing diapers, put up the blinds, turn the lights, and then we, play some music, but other music instead of nap music.
And when was that about?
2:40, like 3 o'clock,
Two-
between 2:40 and 3.
Okay, all right,
And,
nothing unusual to that
nothing.
point? Okay.
And then after that, they were playing again. We let them play, because we only try and do group time in the morning. But we were playing with them. They were playing with the balls that we have, and doing more bubbles with them. And around 3:15 is when we fed them snack.
Okay. All right,
And again, there was no problem. Everyone ate all their food.
okay,
And then, as soon as they were done, we took them out, washed them down, make sure they were cleaned up.
Is it still in the same room?
Yeah.
Okay,
Made sure that they were all cleaned up, and then took out their bibs and everything, did all the dishes.
okay.
And, Miss Nancy came in to relieve, Gwendy.
What time was that?
It was like 3:20.
Pretty certain about that time.
Yeah.
How do you know?
I'm like, it's too much, it's too hard to like, to forget everything, because I was in there pretty much all afternoon. I didn't leave her, like, at all.
Okay, so Nancy relieves Wendy at 3:20.
Yeah.
And then what?
after that, she was, finishing up with the dishes.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then.
Wendy left the room?
Yeah, Wendy
Okay.
was off. She went home.
Oh, she left, okay.
Yeah, she was off. And then after that, 'cause like she told me to do, some art with kids, and I did that, and we were as the other kids that didn't wanna do it, and that already did it, they were playing. So, when I was doing everything, and also Miss Nancy, she was keeping an eye on the kids too. I had my back, like, turned against the wall, like, where I could see and have a good, like a view of everyone to make sure everything's okay as I was doing art with the kids at the same time, and I was watching back and forth and helping, the student out with her art, and then watching the kids. And
Okay.
then when exactly that day, I took Ben out from the chair, he was happy playing with his sister and a few other kids.
What show?
It was like, it's like, not like a bouncer, almost, it's like those, it had like, it was like almost like a bouncer, I couldn't explain it, 'cause.
What was he doing? It was just sitting there?
It's his spot, actually.
So he just sits in there?
every day, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Does he get himself in the chair? or-
Yeah, oh yeah, I took him out, I didn't leave him on the tile and everything when I was done. I, tried helping him walk, but like after a certain point, when I let go, he wouldn't wanna walk anymore, so, he went to his knees on the carpet, and then he saw his blanket we have a rocking chair, it's like, almost like a recliner, except without the footstool or whatever.
Mhm.
So he saw his blanket over there, grabbed his blanket, and he was happy and had his binky, and
What time was this about?
this is 3:30.
3:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was just like bobbling his head, being silly, funny, and playing with his sister and a few other kids. And then when he went into his little spot, and his sister was, 'cause his sister started saying his name, and they pick on each other. And I was watching them, and I was making sure he was doing absolutely great, nothing wrong, as again. And then sometimes in the day, he will fall asleep, but we do keep him up because usually Mom doesn't want him sleeping up at like 5, and we wanna be having him more active and all the kids active, so that by the time we move them next door, they're not so like cranky and everything and crying and whining, because there's there's younger babies in the room.
Okay.
So at let's see, around about 4, Nancy's like, well, is it okay if I can run the dishes and everything, 'cause we're making sure everything was fine. Everything was fine. She ran to the dishes in the kitchen. And after that, right after that, my sister Crystal heard the door still open, and she heard. So she walked in, and then that's when everything started happening.
She heard what?
When she heard me open, kind of, I was by the door and everything, and that's when everything went down at the same time.
Okay.
Like, as soon as Nancy left, I was, keeping my eye out, and I'm like, making
So Nancy
sure.
walked out of the room for how long?
Like a second, not even, it was like half a second.
Okay, and where did she go? She went to
the kitchen.
Okay.
The kitchen's right by.
And you were in the room with the kids?
The kids.
Okay.
And then when everything happened,
When you say when everything happened, describe to me what happened.
well, I looked over, and I was like looking back and forth where I can see all the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in his chair, and he was starting to fall asleep.
Okay.
I'm like, Ben, and he responded, and 'cause I saw him move and his eyes opened. Like, his eyes were squinting,
Okay.
and like when I would say Ben, and like you just see his eyes opening a little bit.
Okay.
And then, he was like, no sign of whatsoever, like I didn't notice anything, because I've seen how
What do you mean, no sign of something? What?
You know, like
He
him
wasn't
acting,
responding?
no, like him acting any different.
Any different
like
than he
no
normally
movement.
does, okay.
And, when I saw him again, like, it was like not even like a second. Like, it was like boom, like again, I'm like, Ben, Ben. And I went over, he didn't respond to me, so I went over thinking, I thought he fell asleep and I wanted to make sure. And then that's when he wasn't moving. And that it was just like, I was like, trying to make sure he was awake, and I didn't want to move anything just in case, if something did. And that's when Crystal.
What do you mean, just in case?
Well, like, if anything, if he was sensitive, like, of anything, of some sort, because as soon as I went over there, like, when the door was gone, and then when, Crystal heard me.
Okay, how did Crystal hear you?
'Cause she heard me saying Ben, Ben, and then I told her, I was like, can I get some help? And that's when Nancy walked out.
Where was Crystal, in the hallway?
She was by the front desk in the hallway.
And she could hear you all the way down the hall. How far is that?
Oh, not even. It was like the classroom where I went to go get my stuff. It was like, she was like right
okay.
by the corner. And
all right,
heard.
so she heard you go, Ben, Ben.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then I went to the phone, and then she came running in as soon as possible.
Did you ever talk to anybody on the phone?
Yeah.
Who?
I heard, it was Beth, I believe.
Did you go on the intercom? Is that what you did, or?
I dialed the number.
Oh, you dialed?
Yeah.
What'd you dial?
To the front desk.
Okay.
And I told them that,
Is that like a 1, 2, 3-digit extension?
It was 2-digit.
2-digit?
And then
What's the extension number?
10.
10, okay.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, can I get some more help? He's starting to, I see foam and just stuff coming through his nose.
And who were you saying that to?
To Beth.
Beth,
yeah,
okay.
And Crystal Stucker, she picked up Ben immediately. We both reacted like within a second. And that's when Crystal was like, Beth, can you come in here? I need your help. And I was trying to get the kids.
Who said that?
Crystal.
Was she still in the room with Ben?
Yeah, she had Ben.
In the room?
In the room.
And you were in there too?
Yeah.
Okay, and then she says, she yells, or what does she do?
Beth was right there too, coming.
Okay, so Beth was in the hallway, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Could
then
Crystal see Beth from where she was
No.
at? No.
Well, she was like right there around the corner. She stuck her head up because the door was a little bit open.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when, as soon as she said that, Beth came running in the room.
Okay.
I got all the kids away from there immediately. She had Ben, put him on the changing table, and then like immediately did CPR right before Beth could even get on the phone and did 911.
Okay.
And then when she was doing CPR, Beth was on the phone exactly with the paramedics when she was on the phone, and we did everything. And at the time, we did get a pulse, and he did have a heartbeat. He really did. And
You were there the whole time?
I was in there the
Were
whole
you
time.
holding him, or?
No,
helping?
I was watching to make sure and making sure the kids weren't even near the kitchen area because he had vomit.
How do you know there was a pulse?
Sandy was checking for pulse because Sandy came in right after Beth did. So we were checking for pulses. They did on the arm here, and as soon as we saw that she was doing the CPR and the breathing and everything, I saw like the vomit, everything. You can literally see he was starting to breathe a little bit, and he did have a heartbeat. And when he left, he held on, and I guess they couldn't keep the heartbeat when they got him to the hospital. So as soon as she was on the phone with them, and once we got the pulse and everything, the paramedics came within 30 seconds.
Okay.
And they use, I forgot the name of the container where they do the shock for little kids. Defibrillator. Didn't even say no shock required because he had a pulse and a heartbeat.
How did you know there was a problem, like when you first called his name? I mean, you're
He was, we just tried waking him up, and
But
we
you were
were
by
there
yourself, right?
for not even like a few seconds.
But you looked at him and you called his name?
Yeah, the first time. I didn't even take my eyes off of
And what
really.
happened when you called his name?
The first time his eyes opened and that was responding.
And then what
And then
happened?
he, like a second later, he like closed his eyes and I'm just like, Ben, wake up, you know?
How far away were you from him at that time?
I would say from like here to like probably half of the door, like
Okay.
towards the corner.
Yeah. And then you said, Ben, wake up?
Yeah.
And what happened?
He didn't wake up and that's when I went.
Did you go over, what'd you do?
I was like, I tapped him and everything and tried to see if he would respond and then Crystal heard me.
Were you screaming for him to wake up, or?
No, I was kinda like raising my, not yelling, but trying to like maybe see if he would hear me.
Did you shake him to see if
A
he
little
was
bit,
sleeping?
yeah.
Okay. When did you see you said you saw some stuff coming out of his mouth or his nose?
His nose.
When did you see that?
When I got on the phone and Crystal picked him up. That's when, I got on the phone and told Beth to come and Crystal even said that. I
How
need
far
your
away
help.
were you how far is the phone from where he was at?
From where I was at?
He's still in his chair, right?
Yeah, and
And
then
the
I was
phone,
over
where's
there.
the phone?
It was like close to like,
How far is that?
I don't even know. It wasn't that far though.
Okay.
Like,
And Crystal was
5
already in
steps.
the room?
Yeah.
Okay. And you could see stuff coming from his nose and his mouth?
Not from the mouth, but the nose.
Just the nose? What did you see coming from his nose?
Like an orange red foam.
Yeah.
And then, after that, when she was doing the mouth CPR and everything, that's when the vomit was coming out.
Okay.
And, Monday though, he was sick. He, didn't have a temperature.
When was that?
Monday.
Monday?
And we noticed me and Wendy, as soon as we, got him up from the nap, he was clammy. He was white and pale, and he was coughing. He didn't touch any of his snack. We had pretzels, cheese, and juice. He didn't touch it, and Sandy and Beth were in there too on Monday, and they noticed that he didn't touch it, so I gave him oyster crackers. But before that, he spit up a little bit like liquidy, like just liquid, clear.
Okay.
And I took his temperature, it was normal, waited a little while, and it was still normal. It was like a 99 point something. And he, when I transferred all the kids on Monday, I had him because, like, I held him, and I noticed, he wasn't feeling good neither. After when Gwendy left, she even said that he don't look good. So I picked him up, he was resting on my shoulder and like just hanging on to me. And not even when I put the diapers and sheets on, he threw up all over me again, everything.
Did he come in Tuesday?
No.
No.
Because,
he was sick?
yeah, when I left Monday, from what I heard, that he was, Mom came and got him, and not even out, like, by the time, she couldn't even get out of the door, because he started throwing up again. They had to put him over the sink, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
He got sick, and we don't know what was wrong with him.
Okay. Do you have kids?
No.
You married? Live alone or with mom and dad? Or?
I live with my mom and dad, but then I've been staying by my boyfriends too, back and forth because of work.
Is the Apache address, is that your parents'
Yeah,
address?
I've been staying there a lot though because.
Where does your boyfriend live?
This Plains. He lives in a condominium. He's been back from the army for a year now.
What street does he live on? What's his
It's
address?
off. I don't know his address exact. I can find out though. He lives off of Dempster Thacker and Graceland.
Explains. Yeah, I know where it is. Yeah. What's his name?
Will.
William?
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Minetti.
What is it?
Minetti.
Spell.
MIN.
M-I-N?
ETTI.
What's his phone number?
847-708. I
unfortunately. It's probably in your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, were all the girls at work yesterday? Did anyone call in sick? No, everybody was there.
All right, we're gonna take a short break, let you kind of compose yourself a little bit too, and then we have a couple more questions to ask you. Okay? cold? Want some coffee or something?
I don't know.
You don't like coffee?
Me neither.
Kidding me?
Cappuccino.
Oh,
Yeah.
please. I live on this stuff.
I just tried something.
Okay, what I want to do is, and what we're talking about is, I just want to clarify some times, right around the time we started noticing a problem with Ben. Who was in the room, you know, what time did this all start occurring? So if you can go over that with me one more time.
I was probably by myself for like at least like almost half a minute.
And that's when
Everything started happening. It was like around like
you were by
4.
yourself because Nancy,
She went to the kitchen
She-
real quick to drop the dishes.
to drop the dishes or to clean toys?
No, drop the dishes off.
Okay, okay.
To get sanitized.
And what time was that about?
It was about like 4.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
everything happened, and when I like, it was like 4, not even 4:05, not even close to that. That's when I went over and like said, you know, Ben, you know, stay awake. And like I was like, Ben, you know, he didn't respond to me the other time that I went to him. So that's when Crystal heard me outside from the door, and the door wasn't even like shut that much all the way. And then she came in.
What's Crystal's assignment? I mean, what does she do at that time?
She was, I think she was relieving teachers actually,
Okay.
cause she does all sorts of stuff there.
Mhm.
She's like all over. She's a floater.
Okay.
And then she was like, Ben, and like that's when I got and told that we need some more help. And then Crystal like made it sound like a little, because I didn't want to like say it over to a point where if, you know, it's like freak out. I was in a calm stage and everything, telling her I need help, of course.
Mhm.
And then Crystal had Ben, and then, you know, she stuck her head out. She's like, Beth, I really need your help. Come quick. And then that's when we started CPR.
So Crystal said to Beth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Beth was right around the corner and someone was coming, but then when Crystal said, you know, I need your help, you know, come quickly, and then that's when everyone started, like, she came in, she got on the phone right away.
Didn't you call Beth?
Yeah, she was coming, but then we couldn't wait, so Crystal had Ben, and they
She-
heard
what do you
me,
mean
she was
she-
coming. No, she was coming, and then Crystal said it again too. So like, you know, before everything, you know, cause like I was just getting the kids out of the way and everything.
So this is all kind of happening around 4:05. How many minutes before Beth gets in there?
Oh, like
CPR?
not even like a minute,
Okay,
cause when Beth came in right away, we were moving the kids, and then Beth got on the phone right away.
Okay.
And called 911, and then at the same time, when Beth was on the phone, Crystal was already doing CPR. She was like doing what we were supposed to, because we're all like licensed and certified.
To do CPR?
Yeah.
Who went to the kitchen?
Nancy.
Did she come in the room right away?
No, she.
How far is the kitchen from the room?
It's like a minute, like not even a minute away.
Did you call Crystal specifically, or?
No, Crystal heard me, and then.
She heard you just saying Ben.
Yeah, and
real
then I need your,
calmly?
and like that's when she came in, and then she's like.
Cause you said Ben, and you were real calm. I mean, why would she come in if you were just trying?
I wasn't saying calmly. When I said it, she heard me screaming, and then like I got on the phone.
So you started screaming?
A little bit.
What were you screaming exactly?
I was saying his name.
Okay.
'Cause it just.
Do you know what happened to him?
I had been up like pretty much.
So
most
nobody's
of the
told
night,
you anything?
I text people, we don't know, like me and Crystal, and like it was just me and her and Sandy and Beth that were in that room until the paramedics came.
When he started getting, when this all started, there was only you in the room, right? And your sister heard you screaming his name? Okay. Well, part of what we do, Melissa, is we're with the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force, and we investigate homicides. That's pretty much all we do. So every homicide that occurs in the county of Lake County, they call us, and we take this over, okay? We investigate the incident, and our success rate is pretty high, because this is all we do, and this is what we're trained for. And we have a medical staff on our team, professional people that are certified to deal with children, adults, medical examiners, FBI, evidence technicians. We have a huge team, okay? The reason that we were called in this incident is because Ben's skull was fractured, okay? We're sure that somebody did this to him. It's a medical certainty that somebody's done this to him. What we need to know right now is if this was done by accident, or did somebody intentionally hurt him?
Yeah, I would never put my hands on it, ever. I'd never put my hand on the child, ever. I've never taken my eyes off of those kids.
Cause there's one thing to hurt someone intentionally, to grab them and throw them up against a wall or swing them into the wall where they would hit their head. But it's another thing if someone dropped them, or if they just try to discipline them and got out of control. But we need to get to the bottom of this, because this could be a real serious thing. And if something ever was to be an accident, it's hard to say later after someone lied about a situation, because at the end of this investigation, we're going to get to the bottom of this, because this is all we're going to do. We have 40 people on our team. So we need to know the truth right from the get-go. Right now, every single person that works at your place is talking to 2 detectives. So we need to figure out possibly how his skull got fractured.
I wish I could tell you. I've never seen anybody put any hands on any of those children ever. I've been there.
When we were speaking with the medical examiner in this situation, this wound that he had on his head is something, a medical certainty, that would have happened right away when he started going into unconsciousness.
Something that couldn't have happened before he got to school that morning. It's something that happened while he was there. Sean's trying to tell you that, and you know what medical evidence, it just doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Okay. That we're certain, based on, and when he says medical examiner, it means the coroner. They did an autopsy on Ben.
Yeah.
And there's definite medical scientific evidence, substantial. I mean, it's just not something like a tiny bruise. We're talking a skull fracture, and in a child, a skull fracture is far different than even an adult, because a child's skull, depending on the age, and he's 16 months old, is soft, not fully developed. So for a skull fracture to occur, it would have to be a substantial blow, and not just a tap. Now, that's not saying that couldn't have been done accidentally, you know, with a fall or something. Those situations do happen, because there could be pre-existing conditions, other medical issues that we don't know about. But one thing we are certain about is that while he was in the care of the facility, this is when this happened, okay? I also, you know, and the reason we talk to you a lot and ask you all these questions about you as an individual, and sit here and spend a great deal of time with you, is that we deal with pretty evil people. You know, we deal with murderers. That's what we do for a living. So we can recognize evil people, we can recognize good people, okay? Somebody who's in the child care industry, very rarely are they going to be in there for malicious or evil purposes. They're there to do what? Take care of children and do good, be what's called a caretaker, right? Definitely based, and that's why I was asking you kind of about your work history. This is something that's part of your career. You obviously are not an evil person. I can tell that. I mean, I could tell that the minute, you know, In our job, we have to, for our own safety, and just because it's the nature of our job, we have to do what's called immediate assessments of individuals. Because we only have a second to react sometimes, right? When we look at somebody like you, and that's what Sean and I have been having a couple of discussions. Here's a person that, under bad circumstances, bad timing, wrong place, wrong time, maybe indirectly have knowledge of something, but is compelled not to because they're scared. And I know, this is big. I mean, it really is. This is a 16-month-old baby. I mean, this is somebody's child. This is somebody who won't have a future. These are parents that will never see this child grow again. And in this situation, these are parents that are going to watch a twin sibling grow. And that alone is going to be painful because they're actually going to watch the twin of the child who's now dead grow up not knowing what that child's future would hold or anything. You know, so not that we take anything less seriously, but you know, a child's death or any injury to a child goes right to the top of the list, okay? Our job here isn't to condemn. Our job here isn't to judge. Our job here is just to find out the facts, put the situation to rest, give the parents some closure, and just put this off to the side. There are situations where evil people do evil things. You know that. Serial killers out there. You were a victim of a sexual assault. So you understand personally, on a personal level, what intent and evil is. There are other people that, under bad circumstances, get into situations where they don't have any choice because of the circumstances. You pull out of your parking lot to go home, suddenly somebody blows a red light, you hit them, somebody in the car dies. Does that make you an evil person? No, you're a person of circumstance. A situation like this, we know, and this is why we're talking to everybody, that there's more to this than just suddenly somebody being lethargic, not sleeping. We know that, okay? We're giving everybody who has knowledge of this an opportunity to tell us. Obviously, this is highly important because they don't call us in just on minor cases, it's major cases. Okay, we're very good at what we do, very good. You know, and I'm not going to give you our resumes, but some of the most infamous murder cases in this county have been solved by us. Homicide's a fairly general term. What that means is that the death of the child was not caused by natural reasons. It was caused by something unnatural. So don't let that term eat away at you. All that means is that he didn't die of a heart attack or a pre-existing medical condition, that there were some unusual circumstances. And in this case, there is an unusual circumstance. I'm going to tell you that Sean and I both firmly believe, again, that just looking at you, and again, it's our job to read people. We do it for a living. That there's definitely things that you want to tell us that for whatever reason, and in a lot of these cases we find out it's a little bit of guilt, a lot of anxiety, because you don't know what the right thing is. You got to think back to before you maybe were even an adult, and the right thing was always to tell the truth. And the more you don't tell the truth, the further into that story starts getting more and more and more out of control, until it's at a point where we can't control it anymore, right? And then there's discrepancies in what you say, what they say, what you said, what actually happened. So the more this goes on, and the more we don't, the longer period of time that we don't uncover the truth, the worse it is for everybody, including you.
Because I would like to know.
Well, we want to know exactly what happened here. And we need to know from you what you know about this beyond what you've told us. And I can tell you, and please, don't mistake, don't make a mistake and not tell us the truth. Because we're very close scientifically of putting pieces together. We need you to finalize that piece for us and tell us exactly what happened. And you're a good person. Reach down inside yourself and help this family. For crying out loud, as a baby who didn't have a chance. You know, we need to bring some closure to this and figure out what happened here. What happened?
Tell you the truth, I don't even know. We were doing CPR and
Melissa, the whole thing
they didn't do it.
the whole thing is when you talk about a certain crime or anything, it's a big word that comes up in court is intent. If someone intended on, if I go up and shoot George in the head, I intentionally probably try to kill him, because it would be pretty obvious that that would lead to his death. So in that case, I would be in trouble with the court. So most of the law is, if something happens on intent, then there's everyday accidents. People get in accidents every day, like in cars, and there's a car accident, and the result is somebody dies, but the person who gets into an accident with them doesn't get in trouble. You've heard that before, right? So that's what the law is about. The law is all about if someone intentionally tried to do something to somebody.
On
they
purpose,
intended
maliciously.
We
You know.
think in this situation, I know somebody caused the action for Ben's skull to get fractured. What we need to know is, we don't think somebody intended on hurting him. We don't think someone intended on killing him. We think that something happened. We know that something happened that caused this injury to him.
Something that perhaps got a little out of control, or a misstep somehow. It wasn't like somebody woke up Wednesday morning and said, I'm gonna drive the Mini Subi and I'm gonna kill Ben.
Yeah.
We don't believe that's what
I don't
happened,
believe
right?
that
And I don't
either.
believe you believe that.
No.
But we also believe that you know a lot more than you're telling us. And please, for your own sake.
I swear, like, there was no problem. Like, me and Gwendy, we never, like, the mom even said, though, he does throw his fits, and he has a tantrum fits, and sometimes he'll throw himself on the ground and have a fit.
We know from this injury, we know for a fact that this injury could not have happened from him just merely falling from a standing position. That could not happen. It's already scientifically ruled out by the coroner. You watch CSI and stuff, we can tell how many pounds per square inch caused an injury. We can tell everything. So we know, we're certain that this did not happen from him just casually falling or throwing himself on the ground. We also know, when I say medical examiner, they're called pathologists, but a lot of people know what medical examiner means. The medical examiner informed us that the onset of this injury that caused him to pass away happened relatively quick when he went to an unconscious state, because that's what caused him all of a sudden to go to sleep, like you said. We need to know what happened to put him in that position. We know that he just didn't fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Because of where the injury is on him. It couldn't happen, and because of the force, he can't generate enough force to do that. And I want you to understand, Melissa, is accidents happen every single day. We will never be finished with this case, ever, till we get to the bottom of this. It's never gonna go away. We need to get it out there. Don't be scared to tell us the truth, because the truth is what helps people. But when people hide something, it makes them look guilty of something. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
You gotta come clean, because I have a good idea that you've seen what happened, or you were involved with what happened, because you were the only one in the room at the onset of this.
Well, before everything happened, he, like I said, he crawled and went into his chair, and I didn't touch any of when he was, at the time too, like when he fell asleep, when he's being unresponsive, I only took his arm and I went like this a little bit. I didn't touch his head, nothing.
Yeah,
And
prior to that though, when he went unresponsive.
He was laying back on the chair, and that was, like, when he was unresponsive, nobody touched him at all. Like, the kids, like, before he was unresponsive and everything, and after the kids left, like, his sister and a little boy was with them, and they were giggling and laughing, and I was watching them.
A lot of the stuff that you say, like stuff like that, that lets us know, because what ended up happening when you have a fractured skull, you end up dying from, basically your brain shuts down your body because your brain swells up. Something along them lines. I'm not a doctor, but just to explain it in layman's terms, we know for a fact, and it's a medical fact, that he would not have been able to eat his lunch, he wouldn't have been able to take his nap, he wouldn't be able to be giggling. So all this stuff had to happen right away when he went unconscious. So that's why we know it happened in that room at that time.
What do you think should happen to somebody who murders a child?
I really wouldn't know, like.
Well, let me ask you, on the other hand, what do you think should happen to somebody who accidentally causes someone to die?
Well, if it was like an accidental, like,
If it's an accident, they didn't mean for them
yeah,
to die.
Right.
Like,
So,
really, it was like an accident.
there wasn't any, like Sean was saying, there wasn't
Yeah.
any intent, there wasn't any plan, right? And that's what we firmly believe, that this wasn't intentional. We've investigated a number of these types of cases where not only caretakers but parents get out of hand, or inadvertently something happens, and they go into this denial mode, because it's a traumatic thing.
Yeah.
It's a traumatic thing for everybody. It's
And-
a very traumatic. It's a lot of guilt to live with for the rest of your life. It really is. And Sean is pointing out to you that we're not gonna just let this lie, and we firmly do believe that you either saw or somehow were connected to this injury. We really, really believe that, and we're trying to give you the opportunity to tell us.
I don't even know, though.
A lot of people, they talk, when something like this happens, they talk to the police and they try to put up walls to distance themselves. But in the reality, it's hurting them, because it would make somebody look more guilty that they intended on hurting this person.
I had nothing to do with it.
But I don't think that you intended on hurting him.
I never put my hands on him ever.
No. But we need to know what happened on that day. Because he just has a 16-month baby, Melissa, and I don't think you're definitely not a mean person, but I have a son, and I swear to God, so many times I accidentally hit his head on stuff. Every time I walk through a frickin' door, I swear to God, I hit his head. He falls down all the time. My baby's 8 months old, so I know if he hits his head back, hits a chair, there's always accidents. It doesn't make me a bad person at all. And if someone was supervising him or accidentally hit his head with something, it's not gonna make you a bad person, but we need to get to the bottom of this. It happens all.
I'm like trying to, but like, the only person that was with me at the time before all this was Nancy, so you would probably get to talk to her more.
Well, someone's talking to her right now.
Yeah, but I never, like, every time I would change his diaper,
Yeah.
I like treat his head, make sure he doesn't hit
Sure.
the changing table,
Right.
so.
And we know you're a good employee, and we know there's never been no incidents with you in the
I never
past
had no
or
complaints or
complaints.
nothing.
So we're not saying that you're the type of person that would do this, but we need to know what happened to him. We really do. And I promise you that the truth is the best thing in this situation. You're a good person. I could tell that. If you weren't a good person, I wouldn't even want to talk to you, because we have so much medical evidence in this case. But what I'm saying is, it happens every day. When you're dealing with kids, they're just rambunctious, they jump around, they're hard to control. And believe me, it's very hard for me, just taking care of one kid, not alone 8 kids, or
Yeah.
whatever, by yourself. You shouldn't have probably been by yourself. And I know it can be very stressful. But we have to let the parents know, we have to put some closure, we have to get to the bottom of this. If something happened, please let us know. If did you hit his head by accident with something?
No, nothing.
There's no.
Did somebody else hit his head with something?
You would probably maybe talk to Nancy sometimes, because sometimes when she would pick him up, sometimes like, and then put him on a chair or something, his head would hit the back
Right.
of the chair. So that's the only
This
thing.
is something though that would have happened because of what the medical examiner told us. Is this something that on the onset of this injury, that's when he would have lost consciousness, which is when you were in the room. So it couldn't have been something that happened hours before, because this kind of injury to his head, he wouldn't have been able to function, and that's why he went into unconsciousness. And from what you're telling us, you were in the room for
crawled,
at least 10
yeah.
minutes before this happened.
And he was crawling and everything. He didn't run into anything. I swear.
Right.
I was watching him and everything.
Would
I
you
had my
have,
eyes.
did you ever, because I know as a parent and, you know, as being a policeman, I encounter a lot of people that sometimes they lose control with the kid and they give them a little smack in the head. The thing is we know that this thing like this wasn't a little smack.
Yeah.
That's
No.
why we're thinking like, you know, could have been an accident. Someone could have dropped him. Someone could have hit him head on the wall. Not saying intentionally trying to do it, but that's what could have happened probably to cause this type of injury. And that's what we're looking for, and this would have had to happen right away. You said you were with them for over 10 minutes before this happened. He would have been pretty much going into unconsciousness within 10 minutes of this happening. I don't know if someone walked in and you're covering for someone that you're not telling us.
No, I don't know. It was me and Nancy. You would probably have to talk to Nancy, I swear.
But you know when, was your sister in there before you were calling for help at all, Crystal? She wasn't?
Like when I called, when she came in, and then she put Ben on the changing table.
Was she in there prior to that incident when you called for help, when you said Ben, when you were screaming? Was your sister in the room?
No, she wasn't in, not yet.
Would your sister hurt any of the kids there?
No, she has a son of her own.
Right, okay. Would you cover up for your sister if she did hurt somebody?
No.
Okay, even if it was an accident?
If it was an accident.
You would probably
I
want to
would
tell
have
the
to say
truth,
something.
so she wouldn't get in trouble, right? And if you think like a logical person, which I know you do because you're very intelligent, we've been speaking to you. If someone like me, for instance, is watching a kid trying to take care of a kid, and I accidentally don't intend on the kid to die or get hurt, but something happens to the kids, it would be a logical person would probably think that maybe that person shouldn't get into that much trouble because they didn't intend on that to happen. Is that a fair assumption? Yes. So I don't want you to put up walls if around yourself and try to, because you're scared, not tell us the truth, because in the long run it'll only hurt you, because it'll make it look like you're involved. But if it was an accident, she would have came out and told us right away, because we know, because you know she's an intelligent person. She would have said, you know what, this is what happened. But she didn't say nothing right away, right at the beginning when this happened, because you got scared. But when we went and talked to her, she came clean. She told us the truth. She told us she got scared at the time. She didn't know what to do. She's never been in a situation like this. And she told the detectives what happened. That's all.
I can't even imagine how he hit his head or who hit his head, like, because, I mean, it's hard to, like, you know, I had my eyes on everybody, and he was in a wide open space, and I never, like, didn't do anything to him towards his head, nothing, but like I said, Nancy was in there. Maybe Nancy probably accidentally did something.
Okay, and that's what we're getting to, all right?
Yes.
If Nancy did something, and you have knowledge of that, you're helping us, you're helping yourself, that's phenomenal. But if you're being reluctant in saying something about Nancy, then you really are accepting part of the responsibility. That's what the perception's gonna be. So if Nancy did something inadvertently, and you feel that maybe a little guilty about not reporting it right away or not taking some kind of action, don't. You're not a doctor. You're not a doctor. You don't have x-ray vision. Kids fall or kids hit their heads. 1,000 times, you know. I've got 2 kids, and the first one, we treated like a China doll, because we thought she would break. The second one would take tumbles all the time, and you know, and as you have more kids, you sort of grow immune and used to those types of injuries. If you saw something, and I'm starting to believe that maybe you did see something, and you didn't take immediate action, that's not on you. You're not a doctor. But you need to tell us what you saw. And if it was Nancy, then we need to know that. That's very important. You're helping us, you're assisting us. That's going to benefit you, not just right now, but it's going to benefit you with your career and everything else, that you came forward. You're a scared young lady. You got 2 detectives. You're in a place where you don't know what's what. I would be reluctant to say things too. But you gotta trust us. We're not here to condemn you. We're not here to put you in jail. We're here to come to the conclusions of what happened to a 16-month-old child. And if you have knowledge of that, you need to tell us. You need to tell us. And you need to accept the fact that another person did this, and that's fine. But don't just speculate. You were there. You saw what happened. What happened? What happened?
Sometimes.
Not sometimes.
I know.
What happened yesterday or Wednesday? What happened Wednesday? What happened? You know something happened. You know something bad happened. You know something real bad, and you probably stood there going, I wonder if that's as bad as it looks.
With Nancy, like, sometimes, like, when she handles, like, when Ben usually cries, I'm saying this, she probably did it, like,
Not
wakes him up.
probably, we need exactly.
My back was turned, so she.
What did you hear?
I didn't hear anything. It was just.
So why are you
with
recalling
Nancy,
a moment when your back was turned?
When, if Ben was crying, cause I don't remember much, I'm still in shock, like.
Right.
Listen, I know you are, okay? Even worse than not telling the truth is half-truths, okay? It's half-truths. You know, you've got over this. Look, you're an adult, and you're a smart person. You're not stupid. You don't have memory loss. You're not in medical shock, okay? What you are is in denial, and you're thinking, I don't want to be here. I don't want to accept that this is happening. I don't want to accept that he's dead. I don't want to be anywhere. If you had a choice right now, you'd be as far away from us as possible in this whole situation. If you had a choice, you wouldn't have come into work Wednesday. You wouldn't have been there. But you know what? You were there. You were a victim of circumstance, right? So don't be an offender. You know what an offender is? That's a bad guy. Be a witness. Be a witness. And you know clearly and sharply in your mind, and no one is blaming you for not taking some action, okay? No one is blaming you for that. But we need to find out exactly what happened, and we completely believe that you know what happened. And if it is Nancy, okay, in great detail, not my back was half turned, not I didn't see it, didn't hear it, didn't smell, but in great detail, you need to tell us this, and we need to put this to rest. We need to all go home tonight and have this entire situation put to rest.
I'm behind us.
Okay, we need to finish this today. We don't need you walking around a week from now, 2 weeks from now, looking at doubt, no closure. We don't need that. You don't need that. You can't possibly, and I'm a lot older than you, you cannot carry that burden or guilt. You can't do that. So you've got to tell us what you saw in great detail. Now, possibly, not probably, because you know 100% we know what happened, but we need you to tell us. Tell us what happened.
Before everything happened, I was giving him a snack. I just used, I cleaned them off and everything when they were all done. After I cleaned off Ben's hands and everything, I put him down, and he crawled. He was fine before all that, and I believe I changed his diapers. When I changed his diapers, like, he didn't hit his head or anything, and like, it's just questionable to me now if when Nancy held him, maybe if he threw a fit and hit like
ran into something to a point where he hit his head hard. Like, 'cause, like I keep saying over and over, I made sure, like, he was safe.
I'm not doubting that.
I know.
I'm not doubting that. What I'm doubting is that you didn't see Nancy do something to him.
No, but every time she comes in, he cries. He doesn't really like her.
Did you see her do anything?
As far as I know.
Not as far as you know.
Don't protect Nancy.
I know I'm not
This
protecting
kid's
Nancy, but
Did you ever see her do anything before? Ever?
like,
To a
pick
kid?
him up, no.
Smack a kid?
No, never.
Throw him
She
into a
just-
wall?
No.
Throw him in the crib?
No,
And you didn't see her do anything to this kid?
I swear.
Okay.
I'm just maybe wondering if when she would hold him, that, you know, she'd run into something, or when she would put him down, she didn't put him down nicely or gently, to a point where he would
It's
hit
not
his
gonna,
heart.
this
I
injury
don't
isn't
know.
caused from something